You've aced the exams, you've earned the advanced degrees, and you've climbed that career ladder. So you'd think financial success would be a sure thing, right? Well, what if I told you that the very intelligence that got you here is the exact thing holding you back financially? It's a weird paradox, I know. And today, we're going to break it down and really get into why so many incredibly smart people struggle to build real wealth. Just think about this for a second. Medical doctors. They're some of the highest earners in the entire country, yet they also have some of the highest rates of bankruptcy. How does that even happen? It's a shocking little fact that just proves building wealth has very little to do with the size of your paycheck. It's a psychological game. So what on earth is going on inside the minds of these brilliant people?
Well, there's actually a name for this. Researcher David Robson calls it the intelligence trap. And it's this kind of counterintuitive idea that the very mental habits that make you an expert in your field, that deep analysis, the need for perfection, can become your biggest financial weaknesses.
And look, this isn't some rare problem affecting a few people. A massive 67% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And that number, that includes a whole lot of people with PhDs, law degrees, and MBAs. So what's the disconnect? We've found 5 key psychological traps that keep smart people broke. Let's dive into the first one.
All right, first up is a total classic for high achievers, analysis paralysis. This is that thing where your brain, which has been trained your whole life to find the one single right answer and avoid mistakes at all costs, just gets stuck. It's an endless loop of research and what-ifs.
This quote just hits the nail on the head. You might have a brilliant software engineer who spends, 6 months building the world's most perfect spreadsheet to analyze a rental property. They've modeled every possible outcome. But guess what? By the time they feel 100% certain, that property's been sold for months to someone who acted on good enough information and is already collecting rent. So how do you break free from this? It really boils down to a 3-part system. First, you have to set a hard deadline. Give yourself 1 week, maybe 2, to research, and then you have to act. Second, you've got to get comfortable operating with about 80% of the information. Look, perfect certainty is a complete myth in investing. And finally, and this one is the most important part, you have to reframe your fear of mistakes. A bad investment isn't a failure. It's tuition. It's the price you pay for a real-world financial education.
Okay, let's move on to trap number 2. This one is a quiet wealth killer, lifestyle inflation. It's the reason you can literally double your income and somehow still feel like you're barely getting by.
This table shows you exactly how it works. You get that big promotion from analyst to manager, your income doubles. But surprise, so does your spending. That leased BMW replaces the old Honda, the bigger mortgage comes with the director title, and your savings rate, the actual engine that builds your wealth, it never changes. You're just running on a much more expensive treadmill. The fix for this is all about building a system. First, do a ruthless cost audit. Be honest, what is a non-negotiable need and what's really just a want? Then, automate everything. Pay yourself first by having your investments and savings automatically pulled from your account. And here is the real game changer. The very next time you get a raise, you immediately commit to saving or investing at least half of it before you even have a chance to get used to it. Trap number 3 is what I call the safety obsession. You see, highly intelligent people, they love predictability. They love guarantees. But when it comes to building wealth, trying to avoid all risk is probably the riskiest financial move you can possibly make. This quote really separates 2 different ways of thinking. Your logical brain is wired for survival, right? It sees a stock market dip and literally interprets it as a threat, like a tiger in the bushes. It craves the zero-risk comfort of a savings account. But real wealth isn't built in safety. It's forged in calculated uncertainty by owning assets that actually grow over time.
Overcoming this is all about building emotional muscle. You have to train your brain to see a market downturn not as a reason to panic and sell everything, but as a normal, predictable cycle. And you start small. You make an investment that's small enough that it won't keep you up at night. This builds your comfort with the natural rhythm of risk and reward.
All right, trap number 4. This is a tricky one for smart people. It's the DIY delusion. This is that overconfidence that says, hey, because I'm a brilliant surgeon or a top-tier lawyer, I can also be an expert tax strategist and stock market analyst in my spare time.
This quote from Marshall Goldsmith just perfectly sums up this trap. The incredible focus and expertise that got you your degree are not the same skills you need to navigate complex tax law or analyze a real estate deal. This delusion causes brilliant people to completely undervalue their own time, spending hours and hours trying to master something an expert could do in minutes.
The fix here is actually pretty simple. It's leverage. Think of it this way. You wouldn't try to perform your own dental surgery just to save a few bucks, would you? Of course not. You hire an expert. You need to apply that exact same logic to your finances. Focus on your zone of genius, the work that actually earns your high income, and hire a professional for the rest. It's not admitting defeat. It's a strategic move to protect your most valuable assets, your time and your focus.
And this brings us to our final and maybe the most powerful trap of them all, the perfectionist's prison. In your career, a single mistake, one wrong calculation, one surgical error, it could have huge consequences. You've been trained to believe that mistakes are just not acceptable. But when it comes to building wealth, that very mindset will keep you on the starting line forever.
This highlights a massive mindset shift. The wealthy don't wait around for perfection. They launch the good enough version of the business. They make the investment with the information they have right now, and then they learn and adapt along the way. Progress, not perfection, is always the goal. The only way out of this prison is to embrace imperfect action. Seriously, commit right now to making one small investment decision this month, even if you feel uncertain. Start what's called a failure resume, where you actually document what went wrong and, more importantly, what you learned from it. You have to shift your goal from knowing everything to actually achieving something. So when you boil it all down, it really comes to this. Building wealth is not an intellectual game. It's a psychological one. Your intelligence is a powerful engine, for sure, but it's your mindset that's steering the car. It's all about managing fear, automating good habits, and taking action even when you don't have all the answers. So if you recognize yourself in any of these traps, your journey to mastering your money mindset starts right now. The first and easiest step you can take is to subscribe to Rise Standard. We put out explainers just like this one every single week, and they're designed to give you the mental tools you need to finally build the wealth you actually deserve.
And now, for your second step, let's make this real. Get honest down in the comments below. Which one of these 5 traps? Is it analysis paralysis, lifestyle inflation, the safety obsession, the DIY delusion, or perfectionism? Which one do you see in yourself? And more importantly, what is the one single imperfect action you're going to take this week to start breaking free? Let's talk about it. I'll see you in the comments.